How do you move forward when you don't know what's going to happen next, when you can't see the path forward and you're filled with anxiety and worry? That's what we're going to talk about today. And that is to help you navigate the current political moment that we're in February of 2025. But it's also true of any moments of uncertainty. So if you're new here, if this is the first time you're watching one of these videos, my name is Sarah Dobson. I'm a research grant consultant, and my team and I help early career researchers get funded at NIH. So, of course, we are in the middle of a lot of uncertainty right now when it comes to NIH grant funding and what that's going to look like in the short and medium and long term. And so I wanted to talk today about mental health strategies to cope in moments of uncertainty. But as I just said at the outset, this is true of any moment of uncertainty, whether it's the current political moment or just navigating your career when you can't see the path forward. And that's something we talk about a lot in the group program that I run called K to R Essentials, which helps early career women faculty navigate moving from their career development award into research project grant funding. And what we know about that very sort of delicate period in your career is that there's a lot you don't know about what the future looks like or what direction to take, or being able to see the full path from where you are now to where you want to go. And so we talk a lot about how to cope with uncertainty. And so I wanted to share some of the most important strategies that we talk about inside that program as ways that you can sort of bring into your own thinking in this moment. And so the first one is really just to take things one step at a time. You don't actually need to see the full picture or the full path ahead of you to be able to make a decision. A lot of times we do get really wrapped up in making the right decision or the wrong decision and worrying that we're going to regret a step that we take because we can't see the full picture. We can't see how things are going to play out. And so that can end up sort of paralyzing us around making any kind of decision at all. But the truth is, things change all the time. The decisions that you make, you can just make with the best information that you have available in front of you right now, and then take action on that decision as a way to gather more information and then move forward from there, right? That's really all you can ever do, is make the best decision you can in the moment with the information you have available, and then gather more information. And so taking things one step at a time can help remind you to just move forward and use what you have around you and make the best decision that you can with the information that you have available. Of course, in this moment, there is not a lot of information that we have available. And so you're going to have to make decisions based on what you do know and proceed accordingly, right? Proceed once you have more information. And this is a way to make the scope of your decisions a little bit smaller, as a way to help you avoid that sort of overwhelming, paralyzing feeling that you have when you don't know what's going to happen, right? And this, another piece of this, another side of this, is really just focusing on what you can control, right? There's so much of what's going on currently that you can't control. You can't control other people, you can't control outcomes, but you can control the way you think and the way you act and your attitude. And so if you focus on the things that you can control and you make the best decisions that you can based on the information currently available to you, that is all you can do in this moment. So that's number one. Number two is to not do this alone. to lean on your communities. And part of the reason that anxiety around uncertainty can feel so overwhelming is because we feel alone in these moments. And it's really important to not cope with this by yourself, to engage in communities and to nurture those communities where other folks are going through the same things, and you can lean on each other for support, but you can also lean on each other for advocacy, which is particularly important in this moment, right? So it's crucially important that you don't isolate yourself, because that is what is going to make this feel so much more burdensome, so much more challenging, so much more overwhelming. So make sure that you are connecting with people who understand, who are in the same boat, so that you can support each other and find ways to organize and to move forward. We need each other now. Don't isolate yourself. Number 3 is to trust yourself. So, of course, as much as you need to lean on other people for support and community and organizing and advocacy, you also need to nurture and develop your own self-trust and self-reliance, in the sense that you are the one who knows which decisions are best for you and your research, right? A lot of times, especially early in our careers, we're always outsourcing our decisions to other people who we think know better than us about how to navigate a career, how to get the kind of grant funding that we're looking for, right? But remember, ultimately, you are the one who is in charge of your career, in charge of the decisions, and in charge of what you want your program of research to look like. And remember, too, that the advice that you seek from others is always going to be coming back to you through the lens of their own experience and expertise and how they would handle things. And that can be very useful to you as you make your decision. But remember that you've always got to filter that through your own experience and expertise and goals and priorities to make sure that ultimately the decision is yours. And again, if we go back to number 1 and taking things one step at a time and not really being sure about how to cope with uncertainty, a lot of times we do want to sort of outsource those decisions to other people because we're afraid of making the wrong decision, right? But the more you can cultivate that sense of, I know what's best for my research, or I am always sort of putting my work first, rather than trying to please somebody else or do what they tell me to do. If you're always filtering it through the lens of where you want your career to go and the impact that you want to make with your research, then all of that feedback and advice and recommendations that come in from other people, you're going to be able to recognize that as just information that you can use to ultimately come to your own decision. You don't have to, and in fact shouldn't, follow any one person's advice to the letter if it's not aligned with where you want to go in your own career. And so developing that sense of trust and self-reliance is really important in this moment, to be able to come back to yourself and say, I trust myself to make good decisions. I trust that if I make a decision and gather more information, I'm going to be able to make a new decision and move forward in that way. It's really about developing that unshakable sense in yourself that you can do this. You are in charge of your own career and your own program of research, and that is first and foremost in your mind when you make these decisions. And so I just want to say again that I know that this is a challenging moment for everyone, and there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of anxiety, and just coming back to yourself and your own belief in what is possible for you and what you want for your career, to just stay as grounded in that as you possibly can in this moment of uncertainty. That is it for this week. I will see you again soon.